Yes, people, welcome back to the 1894. I'm Hugh. I've got Dara here with me as always for this City versus PSG preview, the Crunch Champions League semi-final we've been waiting so long for. It's finally here. And just before we get into our predictions and our starting lineups, can I ask one favor of you, please? At the time we're recording, we're 3 subscribers off 200, and if you could help us out in that front, it would be massively, massively appreciated. Anyways, let's get into our thoughts and our predicted lineup. Okay, so as this is the biggest game of the season, I think it warrants our strongest team of the season, the Champions League semi-final. So many heartbreaks over the years. Lost to Spurs, Liverpool, Monaco. How long do you want me to go on for? And this is a massive chance now for us to make history. Having watched the game against Spurs yesterday, we kind of felt that is possibly our strongest lineup we could put out. I just want to make a disclaimer here as well. This is not, we're not an in-the-know source. This is just our predicted starting 11. And we want to get your thoughts down below as well. If there's any changes you'd make, personnel in, out, let us know down in the comments below. So let's get right into it. In goals, obviously, it has to be Ederson. Stefan was good against Spurs, but Ederson is the main man. In my opinion, he's the best goalkeeper in the world. His distribution it's unrivaled. He's a great shot stopper. He's got that leadership as well. He makes you feel so comfortable, I'd say, as a defender, knowing he's behind you. So I think there's no two ways about it. He will start in nets. The back four, unchanged from the Spurs game. Cancelo, Laporte, Diaz, Walker. I think they all collectively, as a collective unit of defence, they were really, really good. Cancelo looks like he's found his way again, inverting into the midfield, getting involved in attacks, creativity, passing, crossing. He looks really, really good, and I think he will find himself back in the left-back position for PSG. Probably unfortunate for Zinchenko to miss out on this, because Zinchenko has been very good all season, in fairness to him. Laporte is back in the team for us once again. He was really, really good against Spurs. Obviously, he got the winner. Some fantastic tackles. Spurs fans calling for him to be sent off, but I don't think there's any question there. He put in a really good defensive performance, and he was obviously the key man in winning the trophy for us. Diaz, another great performance, and I think you have to go into a big game with Diaz there. He's the main man in defense, and then Walker once again looked really good against Spurs, so I think he will play as well. Dara, talking about this back four, how do you see them posing a threat to PSG? Because we know from watching City a lot that our defense is essentially the start of our attack. You know, players pushing forward, getting involved in the midfield. What are you thinking, mate?
You see, there's no reason to stop playing this system after working against Tottenham, after working for most of the season until we went through a weird 3-week period where we just stopped using it. But, you know, it's tailored around Cancelo, and Cancelo was a shining star for Tottenham, against Tottenham. For me personally, I thought it was brilliant. I was calling from on the match for halfway through the game. But the way he inverts, you can tell it's tailored for him, this system, and it works. It's our best system because we have the boys playing in false line who drop in as well. It's if you want to play this, it's the best backline you can go for.
Absolutely. I think they all add different things in their own ways. Like, we're now starting to see more and more this season, centre halves getting goals, even Stones, who he could play this game, but we predicted Laporte to play, probably unfortunately for Stones. He's also been magnificent, but with the sheer level of brilliance from Laporte in the Carabao Cup final, we think he's warranted a start for the PSG game. But you're definitely right. This back four is the best we can possibly pick, and that's just a testament to our squad depth, that we have so many players who can come in and do a fantastic job. Now, in the midfield, we've made a change. We brought Rodri in for Fernandinho. Rodri is a key part of our game overall this season. I think he's taken it up a notch or two in his performances for City this season in comparison to last season. He's now getting more involved in the attacks. He's really starting to understand the defensive awareness of being a Premier League defensive midfielder. And he's been absolutely crucial to all our wins this season. What are you thinking for Rodri? How do you think he can affect the game against PSG?
You see, Rodri is a very good player. We know that. But it's taken until this season for us to really realise it. I think he's learned a lot from Fernandinho. I think he's actually learned a lot going forward from Gundogan as well. I think for this game, he's the best of both worlds. And honestly, if Fernandinho starts, I can see him getting sent off, because all they do was crop Neymar and Mbappe. So maybe it's better off for Rodri to start this game, but I'm not going to be annoyed regardless. Rodri's a great player, and I think he's more than warranted a start in this game.
Absolutely. Gundogan, as usual, a huge asset to the team. I think there's no question he will play the game. Bernardo comes in for us. I don't think he played against Tottenham. No, he didn't. So he's back on the team for us. He is absolutely crucial in games like this. I always say in football, games are won and lost in the midfield, and Bernardo he's the defining factor in that midfield battle for me most of the time. De Bruyne obviously is a huge asset in the middle of the park as well, Gundogan, but Bernardo adds something that not many players in the world can add, which is unlimited energy. The guy gets around the park, he presses, he attacks, he's got that low center of gravity. He's just a really magnificent footballer to watch. It's really nice on the eye for a neutral. And I think using his attributes against PSG will be crucial, because we'll talk about PSG in the next segment of the video. But when you do apply pressure on the PSG defense, I noticed, which Bayern did do a few times in their quarterfinal, they are, vulnerable to crumbling. So Bernardo will be a huge forefront from that perspective. But let's move on to our front three. And the front three we've gone for, we've got it all on screen for you now, so you know already, is Foden, De Bruyne in a false nine, and Mahrez on the right. And that is an unbelievable front three. The three of them, when they've been on the pitch at all in the last few weeks and months, have been absolutely exceptional. Specifically Foden, who's been banging in goals. I think he got 3 in 3 games there, both Dortmund games and another the Villa one as well. So he's been in fine form. He's capable of banging in a few goals. De Bruyne, other than his crossing, has been one of the best players in the Premier League this season. Absolutely fantastic. And I know from the way he spoke in his interview following his 5-year contract extension that he is determined to win a Champions League, and this is a fantastic opportunity to do so. And then, of course, Mahrez, man of the match for the broadcasters in the Carabao Cup final, and he's been on great form in general in the last few weeks. Of course, he'll be on the pitch. Where do you see the creativity coming from? Where do you see goals coming from? How do you see this panning out with these front three? If they're all in good form, how are you feeling about that?
Well, it's our best team. I think you said it's the best team. This is the best team for the biggest game of the season. It's the creativity is going to be coming from everywhere, and I think honestly, I'd be more confident than any of those front three playing and finishing than say Sterling or Jesus, because like Foden doesn't get many. He gets a good. He does in hindsight gets a lot of chances, but he finishes them. Whereas you need someone like Sterling or Jesus, you give them 10 chances, they score 1, and we can't afford to do that. Like we know how it's going to be played. We're going to have most of the ball. PSG will soak up and put up the other end. So we're going to need to take our chances, because it's got. I feel it'll be an outscoring game, because we're both just so great attacking. We have little faults in defense. So we need the boys who are clinical to score to play. So I think with those we'll have more of a chance to score.
Absolutely. And just on the Sterling note, we took him out of the team, which feels kind of weird, because I said this for the Dortmund game as well. It's unheard of for Pep Guardiola to go into a big Champions League and not start Raheem Sterling. He's such a high profile player, and he really can deliver when he's on form. But Foden, I think it's just so hard to refuse him starting the game on Wednesday, because of how good he's been. Do you know what I mean? When you've got a player of that quality in that form, you can't not play him in the biggest game of the season. But anyway, that is our predicted starting 11. We think it's the strongest we could possibly go for, and we undoubtedly believe it is good enough to beat PSG and go on to the final. So fingers crossed that doesn't come back to bite us in the arse. Let's get into our conversation about how we think the match will pan out and talk a little bit about PSG too. Okay, so PSG are a team littered with absolute galactical players. You've got Mbappe, you've got Neymar, you've got Di Maria, arguably as good as, if not better than, our front three. All superstars in their own right. They have experience at this stage of the competition. I don't think any of them have won a Champions League, but they've been in finals, they've been in semi-finals. They do know what it feels like to be at this stage of the tournament. And I know we said in the last part of the video that this team is good enough to beat PSG, but we're not under any illusions, lads. Not under any illusions. We do realise that PSG are more than capable of punishing us if we don't play well. If we play like we did say against Leeds, or we did against Dortmund, particularly in the first leg, in that first half, the first leg, to be more specific, PSG will punish. But there is a difference to the PSG we saw play against Bayern Munich to the PSG we'll see play against us, is that those players I just spoke about, Di Maria, Mbappe, and Neymar, will not, I fully believe, will not have the same level of space they had against Bayern Munich. We could talk about this now in a sec, Dara, is that Bayern Munich and all German teams seem to play a really high line. They defend on the halfway line. And it's very much route one football for PSG. Their centre halves or their fullbacks get the ball, lump it over the back of the Bayern defence, and let the pacey boys put on the burners and get on the end of that. And that was very effective in both those games against Bayern Munich. But I think with the level of knowledge and quality we have in our back four, players like Diaz, Laporte, whatever about them having, one-on-one battles with Mbappe and Neymar, when it comes down to that, it's 50-50 as to who'll win them. But I do think our players are good enough to identify where the threat does come from. So how do you feel about PSG as an opposition? Like we should look at them as an overview now. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I agree with you on the German point. I think they play very quote unquote heavy metal football, where they want to be as high up as possible. They want to make sure they just press, and City don't do that. City are more like calm, calculated. They won't sit back, but they won't be defending on the halfway line. There won't be as much space, and we'll be able to, I think we have the capability of keeping them quieter than they were against Bayern. But we still can't ignore the amount of quality they have with Neymar and Mbappe. They can make something out of nothing. But I feel with the form, well, the new Diaz, the back on form Diaz. Hopefully, Laporte's newfound confidence. Kyle Walker is just pacey, pace. He'll run for days, and he's as fast. No, he's not as fast as Mbappe, but he's still a very very fast player. And if there's one person you want running with Mbappe, it's him. So our defense is good enough to keep them fairly quiet. I do think they'll get one, but that's just because of how good they are.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a draw, a 1-1 draw, or a 0-0 draw in Paris would be absolutely fantastic. But listen, I might be clutching on straws here a little bit, but I think, right, for Diaz, yes, he may have had a slight dip in form in recent weeks, but the fact that he did keep Erling Haaland to no goals in the quarterfinal in the last round will give him good confidence. Say, why can't I do similar with Neymar and Mbappe? And same for Laporte. Like, the pressure isn't completely on Diaz. But listen, this is Pep versus Poch, PSG versus City. Pep and Poch know each other very well. Pochettino Spurs was a bit of a bogey team for us for a few years. So Pochettino will have absolutely no fears, and he's got a really, really strong team in PSG. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic game. A battle of so many superstars. You know, the amount of skill and talent we're going to have on the pitch at once. Foden, De Bruyne, Mbappe, Neymar, Mahrez, Di Maria. I mean, those two front threes alone is going to be an absolute spectacle. So if you're a neutral, I assume you'll be watching it, and we'll be doing a live watch along on the channel here as well. So you can get our thoughts at the moment in time it's happening, and you can give yours to us as well. But anyway, let's get over to our score predictions. Okay, so the main part of the video is the score predictions. We're putting our reputations on the line here, lads. We're going to say how we think it's going to go. It's going to be, I think the game in Paris, for some reason, I've got a little hunch here, and you can let us know your score predictions down below in the comments as well as to what you think. But I think it's going to be quite high scoring. I don't know why. I just have a feeling it'll be high scoring. I'll give you my prediction first, and then you can go. I'm going to say 2 each. City will score 2, PSG will score 2, and it'll be a fantastic game back in the Etihad for the second leg. But obviously, we'll have that 2 away goal advantage, which will be like a 2 each will be absolutely amazing from a City perspective. And I do think there's goals to be had in this game. So, what is your score prediction, mate?
I can't in good conscience even go for any result. I know that's 2-2 would still be a good result for City, but I'm gonna go with 2-1 win. You know.
2-1 win, he says. That would be
that's if we play that team. If he plays that team we predicted, then I'll go for it. But if I see Gabriel Jesus, probably 6-0 Paris. But you know,
I don't want Jesus to play well. But I do think 2-1 would be an absolutely unbelievable result. That's 1 foot in the door of the final. But listen, we're saying all this now. It's about, at the time of recording, a day and a half to go until kickoff, and the nerves, I'm sure, will increase as time goes on. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. This is such a massive game. We really can't wait. Doing a live watch along here, like I said earlier on. So come along and fancy that. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. At the time of recording, we're at 3 subscribers off 200. We're getting close to a new milestone. Your support, if you could help us out in that front, would be massively, massively appreciated. And you can get your name on the screen down below us for all streams and videos below there. If you join the Discord, link down below, free to join. City talk all day, football talk all day. Get in there and join the community. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you very soon. Peace.